The fall seemed endless. Elara's scream was swallowed by the roar of air rushing past her, the sound fading into a low, resonant hum. She hit something hard, not rock, not metal, something that flexed beneath her weight like a living surface. Pain flashed through her side, but she was alive. A faint golden light spread around her, illuminating the space in slow waves. Mist drifted in thin sheets, glowing faintly as the light pulsed from somewhere far below. The air was thick, not cold like the surface, but heavy, damp, humming with static energy. "Elara, do you copy?" Hale's voice crackled faintly through her headset, distant but alive. She pressed her communicator, but it only hissed. She rose slowly, flashlight trembling in her hand. The floor beneath her feet was translucent, crystalline, and beneath it she could see motion. Liquid. Energy. It shimmered like molten gold, flowing in impossible patterns. She was standing on the outer shell of something immense. The cavern around her was nothing like the upper chambers. Gone were the jagged walls and broken platforms. Here, the architecture was smooth and curved, every surface etched with intricate lines that shifted when she moved. It wasn't carved, it was grown. In the center of the space stood a structure, smaller than the obelisk above but more complex. It resembled a heart made of crystal and metal, suspended midair, beating with a faint golden rhythm. Elara took a cautious step forward. The hum deepened, and a ripple spread across the floor. She froze. Symbols, the same she'd seen etched into the walls above, appeared beneath her boots, glowing faintly. They formed circles, then patterns, then lines that connected directly to the central structure. "Okay," she whispered. "You're not dead. You're not dreaming. Just breathe." The floor responded, literally. With each breath she took, the glowing pattern shifted, syncing with her heartbeat. Then the voice returned. Not through her headset, not through sound, but directly in her mind. Human code recognized. Fragment present. Elara stumbled backward. "Who's there?" The light in the center flared, and the structure expanded like a lung drawing breath. Inside, faint silhouettes flickered, not bodies, not spirits, but streams of data shaped like beings. "You carry the signal. The fragment of the architects." Elara's pulse hammered. "I don't understand. What are you?" "Memory. Function. Warning." The golden glow intensified, and suddenly, the world shifted. The floor beneath her dissolved into light. For a heartbeat, she wasn't in the chamber, she was inside the memory. She stood in an alien city, vast, silent, breathtaking. The same crystalline structures rose around her, but in this vision, they pulsed with life. Tall figures of golden energy moved among them, their shapes humanoid but elongated, graceful, each gesture leaving trails of light. She heard their voices, not as words, but as harmony, communication through resonance. And beneath that harmony, a deeper, darker pulse. Then, destruction. The golden city darkened, structures collapsing inward as waves of energy consumed everything. The same light that gave life now turned corrosive, devouring its creators. The core awakened. The hunger began. The vision shattered. Elara dropped to her knees, gasping. The chamber returned around her, silent except for the deep hum of the heart still beating. "The core," she whispered. "It's not just a machine, it's alive." She looked around, her flashlight catching movement in the mist, not Hale, not her team. Small, insect-like drones scuttled across the walls, their bodies sleek, angular, reflecting the golden glow. They weren't attacking. They were repairing. Elara raised her camera, snapping a few shaky photos. "You're rebuilding this place, aren't you?" she muttered. "Keeping it running." The drones ignored her, weaving golden filaments across cracks and fractures. Wherever the filaments touched, the material healed instantly. Then she noticed, one of the drones paused, turning toward her. Its body split open, revealing a glowing core, pulsing in sync with her wrist device. The golden light jumped from its core to hers. Her wristband activated on its own, projecting lines of alien script in midair. A map unfolded, not of the chamber, not even of the Arctic, but of something much deeper beneath the ice. A network. A power source. The core wasn't isolated, it stretched across continents. Her breath caught. This This thing spans the entire planet. It was built to contain, not to awaken. The voice again, colder this time. Your kind digs too deep. You release what we buried. The structure pulsed violently. The ground shook. Elara stumbled, clutching the console as cracks of golden light spidered across the walls. The drones scattered. The hum became a roar, the same sound she'd heard before the collapse. Elara. Hale's voice, faint but closer this time. I'm coming down. Hold on. She looked up, but the mist thickened. The only light came from the heart-like structure, now beating faster. She backed away slowly, whispering, "No, don't wake up again, please." The ground split beneath her feet. The structure pulsed one final time, then released a shockwave of energy that lit the cavern like a sunrise. Elara was thrown backward, hitting the floor hard. Her vision blurred. Through the haze, she saw it, a massive gate beneath the heart, slowly opening. Inside, darkness, rippling with movement. The hum faded to silence. Only her breathing remained. She reached for her camera, trembling, half-blind, and whispered into the mic. "This isn't a discovery, it's a tomb." The final pulse flickered through the chamber, and the golden light went out. The golden light died, but the sound didn't. A low vibration rolled through the floor like the echo of something enormous moving far below. Elara lay still for a moment, breath visible in the cold mist, her heart pounding against her ribs. Then, silence. Her flashlight flickered weakly. The air felt heavier, denser. She forced herself up, bruised and disoriented, scanning the chamber. The crystalline heart, that had pulsed with energy moments ago, now hung lifeless, fractured along its center. But the gate beneath it, the one she had seen opening, was no longer just a shadow. It was breathing. Slow, rhythmic contractions of the air bent the mist, as if something massive below the gate was drawing breath. The idea alone sent shivers down her spine. "Elara!" The shout cracked through the static in her earpiece. "Hale!" She turned toward the sound. A beam of light cut through the haze, shaky but real. He was rappelling down a rope from the upper chamber, his suit torn, his face streaked with frost. When his boots hit the translucent floor, he stared wide-eyed at the devastation around them. "What the hell happened down here?" Elara's voice trembled. "It showed me something, a vision. The ones who built this place, they weren't trying to harness it. They were trying to contain it." Hale's jaw tightened. "Contain what?" Before she could answer, a low tone filled the chamber, not mechanical, not natural. It was a frequency that vibrated in their bones. Their flashlights flickered again, and one of the fractured walls came alive with shifting light. Alien symbols appeared across the surface, forming shapes like circuitry that pulsed in gold and black. They rearranged themselves into a pattern, a map. Elara raised her camera, capturing every second. "It's like it's responding to us." "Or warning us," Hale muttered. The ground vibrated again, harder this time. Cracks of golden energy raced across the floor, and the mist thickened. The gate below released a deep, guttural groan, like metal straining under impossible weight. Elara stumbled backward. "We need to move." But it was too late. The crystalline heart above the gate began to reassemble itself, pieces floating into place, drawn by invisible magnetic force. A pulse rippled outward, throwing Hale off his feet. His rope snapped, disappearing into the mist above. "Elara!" he shouted, sliding across the floor. She ran, diving to grab his arm. The two slammed into the edge of a platform as the chamber convulsed. Energy poured upward from the gate, twisting into golden strands that formed massive humanoid outlines, like statues of light waking from slumber. The first one moved. It didn't walk. It unfolded. Layers of energy peeled back like armor plates, revealing a hollow form inside. Its face was a void, but its shape was unmistakably human. Elara's wrist device began to pulse in sync with its movement. The same resonance she'd felt in the memory now hummed through her body. "It's recognizing you," Hale whispered. The light being tilted its head, and spoke without sound. Containment breached. Core integrity collapsing. Another figure emerged from the gate, then another, each one more distorted, their forms flickering like unstable holograms. Elara shouted over the rising hum, What do you mean collapsing? What's in there? The figure raised an arm toward the gate. Its voice deepened, reverberating through the floor. The hunger. The core stirs. We cannot contain it again. The gate erupted in light. A column of energy shot upward, tearing through the chamber. Elara shielded her face, the pressure waves slamming into her chest. The entire cavern quaked as the translucent floor began to crack apart. Hale, we have to get out of here. He pointed to a narrow shaft near the far wall, a maintenance tunnel that the drones had used earlier. There. Move. They sprinted, stumbling over fractured crystal as chunks of debris rained down. Behind them, the light beings disintegrated one by one, consumed by the same energy they had once commanded. As Elara reached the tunnel, a massive surge of heat swept through the chamber. She turned back just long enough to see the heart collapse inward, sucked into the roaring gate. And then, stillness. The light vanished. The sound faded. The gate sealed itself with a final pulse, leaving nothing but cold silence. Elara and Hale collapsed inside the narrow tunnel, gasping for air. Their suits were scorched, their faces streaked with dust. Hale broke the silence first. You said it was a tomb. What if it's waking up? Elara stared back toward the faint golden glow still seeping through the cracks in the wall. Then we're standing inside something that was never meant to be found. For a moment, neither spoke. The faint hum of machinery echoed deep within the tunnel, something still running, still alive. Elara raised her wrist device, watching as the alien map flickered again. The glowing lines had shifted, spreading outward, forming new branches reaching toward other points on the globe. Oh no, she whispered. It's not just here. The network's activating. Hale turned sharply. You mean? She nodded slowly. There are more of these, everywhere. The hum deepened again, followed by a distant rumble from far below. The tunnel lights flickered, once, twice, then stabilized. And somewhere deep beneath them, something moved. The sound came again, a slow, grinding rumble that rippled through the metal under their boots. Elara froze, one hand pressed to the tunnel wall. The vibration wasn't random. It pulsed, like a heartbeat. Hale swung his flashlight down the long, narrow corridor. The beam cut through drifting frost and illuminated a distant curve of glassy metal. Tell me that's not coming closer. Elara didn't answer. Her mind was still replaying what the light beings had said. Containment breached. The hunger stirs. She raised her scanner, still trembling. The readings were impossible. Electromagnetic fluctuations off the charts, temperatures oscillating wildly between freezing and boiling. This tunnel's changing, she murmured. The readings were stable before the core woke up. Hale adjusted the rifle slung across his chest, more symbolic than useful in this place. Changing how? Before she could reply, a surge of static shrieked through their comms. Both flinched, tearing out their earpieces as a garbled voice hissed through. Lara, copy, containment failing, repeat, containment. Then silence. Elara blinked. That was the surface team. They're alive. Hale shook his head. No way. The storm fried our link hours ago. Her wrist device blinked, once, then again. The signal strength indicator flared to life. It's routing through the alien network, she realized aloud. Our comms are piggybacking on their system. That's not good, Hale muttered. The tunnel lights flickered, casting sharp, stuttering shadows. The walls, once smooth, began to ripple faintly, as though the material were breathing. Elara, Hale's voice went quiet. The walls. She turned, and her stomach dropped. The metal wasn't just moving, it was shaping itself. Thin, web-like strands of molten gold were emerging from the surface, crawling like veins along the corridor. Run, she said. They bolted. The tunnel twisted, each step echoing like thunder. Behind them, the golden veins began to branch out, spreading faster, the metal walls pulsating with faint, rhythmic light. Suddenly, the ground split open ahead. A blast of icy air whooshed through, revealing a vertical shaft, an ancient elevator well. Jump! Hale yelled. They leapt just as the tunnel behind them convulsed. Elara grabbed a dangling cable midair, the jolt tearing through her shoulder. Hale barely caught another, sliding down beside her. The walls of the shaft glowed faintly, veins of light running up and down its length like circuitry. As they descended, the glow grew stronger, warmer. The further they dropped, the more the alien structure resembled machinery. After what felt like an eternity, they hit a solid platform, another chamber, smaller but no less strange. The air here was heavy with static, and in the center stood a tall, column-like console covered in alien glyphs. Elara approached cautiously. Her scanner pulsed faster. This is a relay node. The core's energy is channeling through it. Hale circled it, flashlight tracing the symbols. Can we shut it down? Maybe. She studied the pattern. The glyphs weren't random, they were coordinates. These are linked to surface locations, the same ones on the map I saw. Each node corresponds to another site. Hale frowned. So, if one wakes up, they all do, she finished. The console pulsed, reacting to her words. A projection burst from the surface, a spinning globe of Earth surrounded by glowing rings. Points of light flared across continents: Alaska, Greenland, Tibet, Argentina, the Sahara. Every one of them pulsed in unison. "Oh my God," Elara whispered. "It's a planetary network." The projection flickered again, and shifted. Now, instead of glowing, the points began bleeding red light. Hale stepped back. "That doesn't look friendly." A new voice echoed through the chamber. It wasn't human. It came from everywhere at once, from the walls, the floor, the air itself. Containment collapse. 93%. Core synchronization in progress. Elara spun around. No, that's impossible. The core was sealed. The voice continued, calm and mechanical. You are inside a synchronization zone. Organic presence detected. DNA match confirmed. Anomalous sequence recognized. The console flared, and a beam of light shot toward her wrist device, scanning it. She screamed as a surge of heat traveled up her arm. Hale tried to pull her away, but the beam held her locked in place. The alien voice deepened. Human subject linked. Pattern stable. Assimilation commencing. Elara! Hale ripped her free. The device exploded in a burst of sparks, throwing them both backward. Elara clutched her arm, the veins beneath her skin glowing faintly gold. She gasped, terrified. "It's in me." Before Hale could respond, the floor beneath the console cracked open, a glowing fissure widening as the chamber filled with that same low, thunderous pulse. A humanoid silhouette began to rise from the rift, not light this time, but solid, metallic, its form shaped from the same golden material as the walls. Its eyes were two white-hot embers. Elara stumbled back, dragging Hale with her. "It's building itself." The creature's head turned toward them. Its mouth opened, releasing a burst of static that distorted the air around it. The voice that followed was broken, fragmented, but unmistakably ancient. Containment failed. Host sequence complete. The core will awaken through flesh. Hale raised his weapon instinctively, though both knew it would do nothing. "What does that mean?" Elara looked at her glowing arm. "It means I think I'm the key." The creature stepped forward, each movement accompanied by seismic vibrations. Panels in the wall began to shift, sealing exits. "Move!" Hale yelled. They sprinted toward a side tunnel as the creature's hand slammed into the floor, sending a shockwave through the chamber. Metal screamed. Debris rained. The exit sealed behind them just as the explosion ripped through the relay room. They hit the ground hard, coughing in the dark. Through the shattered remains of the tunnel, Elara could see faint golden light seeping through cracks in the metal. It pulsed, with her heartbeat. She turned to Hale, trembling. "We didn't wake the core." He looked at her, wide-eyed. "Then what did we do?" Elara stared at the glowing fissures spreading across her skin, the alien energy crawling outward like veins of light. "We made it remember us." The tunnel groaned like something wounded. Metal twisted above them, shedding sparks as the walls convulsed with pulses of gold light. The floor pitched sideways, throwing Elara and Hale against the curved surface. "Move!" Hale shouted, dragging Elara upright. She winced, clutching her glowing arm. The golden veins had spread to her shoulder, throbbing in rhythm with the floor beneath them. "It's reacting to me," she gasped. The whole structure. It knows I'm still here. Then let's not give it time to catch up. They sprinted through the tunnel as chunks of molten alloy rained from the ceiling. The light from Elara's wrist illuminated the path ahead, the corridors morphing in real time, sealing behind them, opening new routes ahead as if guiding or hurting them. Left! Hale yelled, pointing as another tunnel split off. They veered hard, just as a shockwave tore through the main shaft, hurling metal fragments past their heads. Behind them, the golden creature, the thing that had risen from the relay chamber, crawled through the molten wreckage like a mechanical serpent, its limbs reforming with every motion. Go! Go! Hale's voice echoed over the thunder of collapsing walls. Elara's breath came ragged and short. The air had turned electric, shimmering with static. Sparks danced along the walls. She skidded around a corner and nearly slipped into a massive crack splitting the floor. She looked down. The fissure dropped hundreds of feet into an abyss glowing with the same golden light that now crawled under her skin. I think this is the main power conduit, she said breathlessly. Then we're right above the core, Hale replied. Perfect. Let's not fall in. They leapt across the gap, landing hard on the other side. The moment Hale's boots hit the metal, the ground shifted again. A circular door ahead of them irised open, revealing a vertical shaft lined with alien glyphs. Elevator. Hale guessed. More like a transport chamber, Elara replied, her eyes darting over the markings. But it might lead up. The sound behind them grew louder, a screeching, mechanical roar. The creature was close now. No time. Hale shoved her inside the shaft. They both jumped in, and before the creature could follow, Elara slammed her glowing hand onto a panel beside the door. Instantly, the walls lit up. The shaft sealed, and the floor dropped. They were in freefall. Air rushed around them, the light outside blurring into a golden tunnel of motion. Elara screamed as the acceleration forced tears from her eyes. Then, suddenly, impact. The floor caught them with bone-jarring force. Hale rolled, gritting his teeth. That's one way to take the elevator. Elara forced herself upright. They were in a new chamber, this one different. Quieter. The air here was colder, sharper. Frost formed on the edges of the floor, crackling faintly under their boots. At the far end of the room, a faint white light shimmered, not gold. Elara frowned. That's not alien. They approached cautiously. The light grew brighter, resolving into a rectangular hatch built into the wall. It was human, standard research-based construction, sealed from the other side. Hale's eyes widened. It connects to the base. They built right into this structure, without knowing what was underneath. Elara touched the panel. It flickered to life, her presence overriding the lock. The door slid open with a hiss, revealing a corridor lined with human equipment, flickering emergency lights, and the unmistakable smell of burning insulation. They stepped inside, hearts pounding. The familiar human architecture was both a relief and a new kind of terror. It was silent, too silent. Hale lifted his rifle, flashlight sweeping the walls. Where's the rest of the team? The answer came in the form of a sound, faint at first, then unmistakable. A metallic tapping. Tap, tap, tap. From behind a half-collapsed section of the corridor, something moved. Elara raised her light, and froze. It was one of their drones, or what was left of it. The sleek metallic body was twisted, its sensors glowing the same golden hue as the creature's eyes. The machine staggered forward like a wounded animal, emitting low bursts of static. "Don't move," Hale whispered. The drone tilted its head. Then, in Elara's voice, it spoke. Containment breached. Host pattern integrated. Elara's blood ran cold. It's copying me. The drone's light intensified. The same veins of gold began spreading across the walls of the human-built section. The alien network was infecting their base systems. "Run!" Hale shouted again. They dashed down the corridor, alarms blaring overhead. Emergency lights turned red, flickering in sync with the golden glow crawling along the walls. "Elara!" Hale yelled over the noise. "Control room's up ahead. If we can reach it, maybe we can override the network link." They burst through the door. The control room was a mess of shattered glass, smoking consoles, and dead monitors. But the central interface still glowed faintly. Elara ran to it, slamming her glowing hand on the keypad. Come on, come on. Her wrist pulsed, and the system came alive. Streams of alien glyphs mixed with human code raced across the display. She didn't know what she was typing anymore. It was like something was guiding her hands. Hale watched in awe. You're not even reading it. I don't have to, she whispered. It's talking to me. The room trembled. The alien creature's roar echoed through the tunnels. Elara, I can lock it out. I just need. A surge of energy burst from the console. Sparks flew. Elara screamed, falling backward as the display overloaded. Her veins flared bright gold, then dimmed to a faint amber. The noise stopped. Everything went still. Hale knelt beside her. Are you okay? She nodded weakly. I shut the link. I think. The floor shuddered. Cracks spread across the walls, and a dull, resonant hum began deep below. Elara turned toward the sound, dread flooding her chest. The core's still active. We just cut ourselves off from it. The realization hit both of them at once. They weren't safe. They were isolated. The emergency lights flickered once more, then all went dark. In the blackness, a faint whisper echoed through the speakers. You cannot escape what you've awakened.